Hello everyone, I'm Laura Malbezin and I'd like to talk about my PhD project on biofilms and herbicides. If I tell you that in Quebec, almost all of the 4 rivers monitored by the government are contaminated by atrazine and S-metolachlor used in agriculture, a little bit worrying, isn't it? The problem they present is that they could affect the key elements of food webs, such as periphytic biofilms. Like me, you probably already slipped on these biofilms in the river. This greenish layer on rocks is actually a complex of many organisms that are rich of fatty acids that can be affected by herbicides. These molecules, and especially polyunsaturated fatty acids, or PUFAs, are essential molecules for the metabolism and, by being transferred along the food chain, ensure its proper functioning. But what's the interest of using these fatty acids? Well, they can provide different types of responses. First, direct adhesion of fatty acids, but also due to the fact that some taxonomic are more important producers of good quality fatty acids like PUFAs than cyanobacteria, for example, changes in fatty acid profiles can reflect changes in taxonomic compositions. Also, it can be multiple responses. So to test these approaches, several experiments are planned. On one hand, a sampling of biofilms in agricultural area will be useful to assess the effect of herbicides in biofilms in natural conditions. On the other hand, experiments under controlled conditions carry out. First, preliminary tests consist of exposing biofilms to herbicides alone and in mixture to investigate effect of fatty acid profiles and biomass. This data will permit to produce dose response curves and determine concentrations of interest for an exposure experiments on artificial channels. With these channels experiments, I will assess the effect of herbicides alone and in mixture on fatty acids, but also on algal and bacterial compositions. For example, I will use sequencing to determine large groups of bacteria and biofilms. But bacteria and algae interrelate with other organisms in the biofilms and in the micromeiofauna. Studying the relationship between the prey and predator, such as rotifer or annelids, will allow us to highlight the effect of the compounds at different trophic levels. To test specifically this hypothesis, gamma-rays will be exposed directly or indirectly to herbicides in order to observe potential effect of the compounds on fatty acids profiles or growth. So for your next time in river, I hope you won't see slimy rocks the same way anymore. Thank you for listening.